It's crazy.
All right, Bull, you're going to help lead us to this next conversation here because the Guardians finalized their 26-man opening day roster.
They finalized
even though
25 of the 26.
One of the spots is still open, which we will discuss. But Steve, take tag board here, Bull. We'll run through it real quick. The 5 starting pitchers that the Guardians have kept on the opening day roster: Bybee, Williams, Ortiz, Lively, Allen. We talked in depth about the starting rotation yesterday on the show. In the bullpen, you got Clase, Gaddis, Cade Smith, Tim Herron, Paul Sewald, Jacob Eunice, McKenzie, and Joey Cantillo.
I don't think it's Jakob. Where'd you come up with Jakob?
I just like calling him Jakob. I don't know if it's really. I like Jakob.
Jakob?
Position players, you got Bo Naylor, Austin Hedges, Carlos Santana, Manzardo, Gabriel Arias, Rocchio, Ramirez, Quan Thomas, Nolan Jones, Jay Honk, a.k.a. Big Christmas, Daniel Schneemann, and a 26th player to be named. Will Brennan, who was essentially told he was going to make the 26-man roster, has now been demoted back to AAA after the Nolan Jones trade. Bull, before we get into the 26th spot, because we do have a couple candidates, your overall big-picture takeaway on the Guardians' opening day, we'll call it the 26-man roster, even though we acknowledge they are missing one spot.
So couple fascinating things here. Can you bring up the roster again? So let me point out a couple of things here. Look at the last 3 relievers. Okay, now I know most of the folks out there don't know Jacob Junis, but Cantillo, McKenzie, and Junis are all starting pitchers. Now you say, well, why have they got 3 starting pitchers in their bullpen? I'll tell you why. This is smart. At least they're going to do this in the beginning of the year. Now, those 3 guys will not all be in the bullpen the whole year. At some point, they'll go to the minors or they'll go to the rotation because guys inevitably get hurt. But here's what's interesting and why I think they're doing this, and I think it's very smart. So the top 5 guys in their bullpen are excellent, right? We saw Clase, Gaddis, Smith, and Herron were all great last year. They brought in Paul Sewald, who's a veteran, who had an okay year last year, but overall in his career has been an excellent relief pitcher. So you have 4 essentially short relievers, 1-inning guys, who are all really good, could all be all-star level performers. They're not going to go to all-star games except for maybe Class A, but they could pitch at an all-star caliber level. The reason they're keeping Junis McKenzie, because they sent down Andrew Walters, who in one of the last cuts yesterday. Why are you looking at me like I'm crazy?
No, I was just trying to mentally ask, can we drop it so we can see you? Or are you still looking at this?
Yeah, no. I'm still looking at this. Leave it.
Okay.
So Andrew Walters is, like the first 5 guys, a 1-inning pitcher. The reason they're keeping the 3 guys is why? What did the Guardians do, guys, last year? What did they use a lot of last year?
The
bullpen.
Yeah.
What did we see in the playoffs from some of their best bullpen guys?
Getting touched.
Why? Because they were tired. Because Clase, Gaddis, Smith, and Herron pitched a crazy amount of innings. And they're all young pitchers, especially Gaddis, Smith, and Herron. They're, somewhat new to the majors. So what the Guardians are doing here is they know that their starting pitchers did not go deep into games last year. And it's the same group of starters outside of Luis Ortiz.
Is that just the new way baseball
Generally,
is
yes.
now? That
Generally,
4 to 5 out, 4 or 5 innings out?
Generally, you want to have 1 or 2 pitchers that can give you 6 or 7 sometimes. I think Tanner Bybee's a guy who will be able to this year, but the rest of the guys, I don't know that any of them are.
You don't think Gavin can?
Well, he can potentially, but I think Bybee's definitely ready to make that next step to going longer. I don't know that Williams is. But what they're going to do is they now have 3 pitchers in their bullpen that can give you multiple innings. Mm-hmm. And that's big. So if the first game of the year, Bybee goes 5 innings and then, then the next day, let's say Gavin Williams only goes 2 innings, gets knocked out.
Yeah.
Well, I could put in McKenzie, Junis, or Cantillo, and they could pitch 2, 3, 4, even 5 innings if they're pitching well.
Yeah.
And now I save myself from going to the bullpen. So, your key guys. So between Sewald, who will eat up some of those late innings, and the 3 extra starting pitchers in the bullpen, essentially,
how do you?
I can cut innings down all year to get less work on the arms of Clase, Gaddis, Smith, and Herron.
And how do you think a guy like Tristan McKenzie feels about that?
Well, I don't know how he feels about that. It's better than going to the minors, I'll tell you that. I'd rather pitch out of the pen. I said this yesterday. I'll say it again. I was saying, I don't know if you guys remember this, but I know Mike does.
You said last year.
I said last year they should move Tristan McKenzie to the pen.
Yep.
I think you make him a 2-pitch pitcher. Forget trying to throw 3, 4, 5 pitchers.
I can't believe
Look at his body.
I can't.
He is a string bean.
So
It's
what?
hard to keep guys with that body frame healthy. I think pitching an inning or two. Now, I said he can pitch long, and he can. I think they'll use Cantillo and Junis longer than they'll use McKenzie. But McKenzie's a guy. Give me an inning or two every time he's out there. His fastball is gonna be harder because he doesn't have to save it up for try to get through 5 innings. He's got to work on the command, and that'll be an issue. But Carlos Carrasco's career was saved by moving to the bullpen. Early in his career, he had struggled when the Indians at the time had him. He looked like he was going to be a lost. They got him in that trade. He was the Cliff Lee deal, right? I think he was. No, was it Cliff Lee deal? I can't remember now. And they got Carrasco. Yeah, I think it was the Cliff Lee deal. And he struggled early in his time. They moved him to the bullpen. He was lights out for a half a year, 3/4 of a year, whatever it was, in the bullpen. Went back to the rotation, was fantastic. All-star, borderline all-star for much of his career after that. And I think McKenzie can follow the same path. Now, he still may need to have Tommy John surgery one of these days. He didn't do it last year. But his velocity's up, so that's a major positive. That makes me think his arm is healthy. His biggest problem is command. You see 49 walks in 75 innings. If that continues this year, he won't be in the bullpen. He'll be in the minors. But I like getting him in the pen.
This is another great smoke screen by the Guardians.
What do you mean?
This is another great smoke. Tyvis, every single year when I come on here and say,
we need sticks.
6 years we see how we do this shows.
Yeah.
And listen, bring my graphics back up over here. He did a masterful job. He might have been Chris Antonetti. He was a masterful job. Just going through the minutia. And how they're going to use the bullpen in a new way. They always come up with a new way, but the old way is the way they usually lose. Let's take a look to the right side of the list for you.
Okay.
Your boy,
I was going to get there.
Bo Naylor, 201 last year. 201. Let's
Not good.
My man Austin Hedges. What is Austin batting last year? 152 last year.
We know he can't.
Carlos Santana is almost 40.
Yeah.
And he's not batting anything over 275.
Well, Carl Santana had a solid year last year. He's fine, but he's old. He can go off a cliff.
But we've downgraded in terms of power from Carlos Santana to
That is correct. Yeah, that's correct.
Let's talk about Kyle Manzardo. Y'all gonna let him play every day this year?
He's gonna play every day.
Because y'all yanked him up and down for 2.5 years. He's been ready. You told me
no, not 2.5 years. They just got him. 2 years ago.
When we got him, they said he's been in the Pirates organization.
He's raised.
Whatever. But he's ready to go.
He's going to play every day.
All right,
well, good. Every day. Yes.
Gabby Arias. We've
been through this before, but
we've been through that before.
I'll give him one more. I'm giving Gabriel Arias 6 more weeks. He's got the first 6 weeks. If I'm the Guardians, if I'm Stephen Vogt, I'm playing him every day, just about for the first 6 weeks of the season. Sink or swim. This is it.
They love that man, Brian Rocchio. Now listen, we love playoff Rocchio, but regular season Rocchio. Let's see what he's talking about. Oh, let's see. Let's go down the list. Playoff Rocchio. We're looking at 206. Now, you get to Jose, who has nobody behind him, listen, I wouldn't pitch him. He wouldn't sniff a pitch from me.
Yeah.
You got Quan, who's batting, started off at 400, under 300, 292. Now, I don't know if they're going to change his swing to try to get him to hit more power. I like the fact that they brought Nolan Jones back. My question is, why did they let him go to start with? Lane Thomas, you might be able to get something out of that. But John Kizzy Noel and Daniel Schneemann, they're batting about 218.
Yeah, well, to me, the batting average is, I'm not that worried about batting average.
Okay, we not better.
Listen,
let's talk about the power.
The lineup is lacking. There's no doubt. The lineup is lacking. I'm not going to come in and tell you I love their lineup. I don't. I like their pitching. I don't like their lineup. I said it consistently all season long. Now, it's better after the Nolan Jones trade.
Yes.
I like that trade a lot. Talked a lot about it yesterday. He's got legitimate power. Now, will he stay healthy and will he reach his potential? We'll see. He was great in 23. He was bad and injured last year. In 23, in playing 3/4 of the time, he had 20 homers, 20 steals.
Yep.
So, and he's got a cannon for an arm.
And he's 6'5". Big dude.
Big guy. He's still young. He's 26 years old. So there's a ton of upside with Nolan Jones. That was a really smart trade.
It doesn't matter. We know that Big Christmas is going to be second on the team in home runs anyway.
No, he will not.
Yes, he will.
He's not going to play enough, I don't think.
That's the part that
He
gets
almost
me.
got 20 last year. He didn't play enough.
Yeah.
They're gonna mix a lot of guys in and out. I just don't know if these young guys don't get enough at bats to really.
You're
stick.
right. But I think that Nolan Jones and Kyle Manzardo are going to play most of the time. Against some tough lefties, they'll be on the bench. But those two guys need to play just about every day. Because the potential there, again, it's potential, but they're going to get their opportunity. I think, Jose, Nolan Jones, Manzardo could turn into a nice 3-4-5. Now, they got to prove it. Manzardo showed some good signs at the end of last year.
He did.
And Nolan Jones, obviously, in 23 before he got hurt last year with Colorado. I don't know that it's going to pan out. And if it doesn't, you have every right to say, here's another prospect that failed.
But
I like both of these guys way more than I like the Ariases and the Freemans and some of these second base guys.
I just look at it. I like the Royals a little better. I actually like the Tigers a little better.
I'll tell you this. They got their flaws.
Yeah,
All
they do.
You look at their lineup.
The Royals, man.
So everybody.
We open up against
So
them.
apparently Jay said the other day that the Royals. What did Jay say? That the Royals have the best lineup or something like that, Mike?
I don't really know what he said. You were on the
Okay.
show yesterday.
No, he didn't say it yesterday. Somebody told me he said something. It must have been, maybe it was Friday. He said something about the Royals lineup.
Okay,
Like that was
go
so
ahead.
good. Let me tell you something. The Royals lineup is not that good. Now, they have Bobby Witt, who's one of the best players in baseball.
Yes.
Okay, so do the Guardians with Jose Ramirez. They have
What's the
Salvador Perez, who's
Yeah.
excellent. He's old, and he's a catcher, so he could fall off a cliff any year, but he's excellent right now. And Vinny Pasquantino, who's very good.
They don't got the one. I thought they traded for.
Jonathan India?
No, they do got him. The one the one that Jason wanted. He went there last year, didn't he?
Who?
Paul Paul C?
Paul DeYoung?
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's up. No. I'll give you Kansas City starting lineup.
about
Okay?
that?
For all this talk about and listen, again, I'm not trying to tell you the Guardians lineup is that good. There's a lot of question marks in the Guardians. The Guardians lineup, the Royals lineup, besides the three guys I mentioned who are really good, Bobby Witt, Pasquantino, Perez. The rest of their lineup, Michael Massey at the rest of these guys nobody here has ever heard of besides
Hunter
me.
Renfroe.
Michael Massey at second, Michael Garcia at third, MJ Melendez, Kyle Isbell, and Hunter Renfroe in the outfield. That stinks.
Melendez.
Jonathan India DH. The rest of their lineup are average or below players. So
listen.
they have as many holes in their lineup.
Jonathan India
I'll
as
take
a
you
DH
another.
is great.
I'll take you. Here's the Tigers lineup. Tell me how many of these guys you know. Jake Rogers, Colt Keith, Gleyber Torres, Trey Sweeney,
I know
Torres.
Zach
Torres.
I know
McKinstry,
Torres.
Riley Green, Manuel Margot, Kerry Carpenter,
I know
and
Kerry.
Spencer Torkelson.
We all know Kerry Carpenter.
Okay, he had a great series. Fine.
yeah.
Their lineup is way worse than the Guardians.
Listen.
Now, I like the Tigers starting pitching a lot.
You don't like the Royals' power? Royals' power is way better than the Guardians.
The Royals have. I don't know that it's going to be way better. And I think they got tons of holes in their lineup. They have 6 guys in their lineup that are average or below. So do the Guardians. I'm just saying, it's not like the Royals is better.
Yeah.
And I actually think the Royals rotation, the Guardians rotation will be better than the Royals. And I think the Guardians bullpen is way better than the Royals. And the Guardians bullpen is way better than the
Michael
Tigers.
Walker.
Waka waka.
We're going to find
Right.
out
Yeah.
when the first game of the season for
Waka
Cleveland
The
gets
Guardians are
underway
flawed, but
on
I'm leaning towards
Thursday.
picking them to win the division.